Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online VGC 20 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Today I'm trying out a team that features Diggersby that was built by one of my Twitch subscribers, Alex, so thanks to Alex for providing the team. If you want to try out this team yourself, there is a rental code for the team in the description below, but it features Diggersby, which is really cool because it hits for so much damage. It gets access to Swords Dance, and this moveset is pretty mixed as well. You've got Thunder Punch, you've also got bounce, so you're able to actually increase Diggersby's speed through max airstream. So I think the goal, if possible, is to maybe get a Swords Dance off while supporting it with something like Togekiss, and then try to sweep through. So we'll see if we'll be able to accomplish it, but this team has a lot of other cool things too that just hit for a lot of good damage, like Tyranitar, Rotom, Sylveon, Duraludon, things you guys have seen before. But the bunny is the main Pokemon that we'd like to feature today, so let's see if we can get it going. But thank you guys as always for watching Road to Rank, and if you guys enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like in the video, and I'd really appreciate it. We're going up against a Sun Trick Room team for the first game today, which is a little bit tough. I'm not sure we can justify bringing Diggersby in this. We could lead it in Swords Dance, though, honestly. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Like, we could go with Togekiss Diggersby. I think a very safe lead here for me is leading Sylveon and Tyranitar, though. Because what that allows us to accomplish is just we can go for... Like, Tyranitar actually really destroys my opponent's team. So, I think I might have Diggersby in the back, because it could still do some decent damage with Thunder Punch and EQ. But it doesn't feel like a great game for it, mainly because of the threat of Trick Room. Otherwise, I guess we could lead, like, Diggersby Tyranitar. I wonder if my opponent leads Charizard. I feel like it's rather risky to do that. So I'm going to try out Sylveon and Tyranitar with Rotom in the back, I think. And... oh, right now I have Diggersby selected. Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah, I want Sylveon, Tyranitar, Rotom. And you know what? It's our first game and our first day with this team, so I'm just going to bring the Diggersby, even if it's not the best option. The thing is, if we deny Trick Room through Tyranitar, then Diggersby actually has a pretty decent matchup because it outspeeds the majority of my opponent's team. The only thing it's getting outsped by is Charizard, pretty much. And it actually hits for a lot of damage with Life Orb Earthquake with huge power. So let's jump into the first game today. Let's see what my opponent ends up bringing. It's going to be Dusclops and Persian. Okay. So with this lead, what you can do is go for a Fake Out onto the Sylveon. So if I'm predicting that, one play I could actually make is Dynamaxing the Sylveon and just going for Crunch and Max Fairy onto the Dusclops. Alternatively, you might just Parting Shot, because one thing I want to do here... I mean, I think you definitely Fake Out the Sylveon. I'd be shocked if you didn't. I don't know. I don't think Crunch and Max... oh, I guess it's... yeah. I don't know if Crunch and Max Strike KOs Dusclops. I feel like it doesn't. Yeah, so I'm not sure I want to go for that. I think I'm just going to opt for the Quick Attack play. I might not want to Dynamax this first turn, because I'm not taking any damage anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to Quick Attack and Crunch. If Persian doesn't Fake Out... oh, it doesn't Fake Out, wow. Oh, it's probably Parting Shotting then, isn't it? That would make sense. So I should have maxed, actually, just to get the Max Darkness onto the Dusclops. But the Parting Shot goes into Sylveon. Okay. I don't know if +2 Crunch KOs Dusclops. Depends if it's max HP, max defense, or max HP special defense. But yeah, I should have maxed, I guess, just to guarantee the KO for this scenario specifically as Rhyperior comes out. Alright. So let's see if +2 Crunch can get the knockout here onto Dusclops. Nice. Beautiful. Yeah, I think that should honestly just be game. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, obviously, but that's such a big lead for us, and that's one of the cool things you can do with it, like Weakness Policy Tyranitar, just getting that activation immediately. I mean, now there's actually an argument to Dynamax Diggersby, because it does so much damage. So I actually think I'm not going to Dynamax Tyranitar here. I'm just going to go for a Hyper Voice. And a... let's see. I just want to chip away, I think, because a Max Quake should probably just KO Rhyperior at this point after chip damage. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go for a Hyper Voice and a Crunch onto the Rhyperior. Yeah. Persian probably goes for a Fake Out. you would probably like Dynamax the Rhyperior, fake out the Sylveon, and then Max Quake. But that's fine by me. It might have been more worthwhile though, now that I'm thinking about it, to have gone for a superpower onto the Persian, just because that does outspeed my Diggersby. And it would have been, you know, relatively safe to Dynamax Tyranitar here, but I actually think we can get more... Oh, Icy Wind. Huh. That's interesting, because if your Rhyperior is min speed, I'm not sure you're outspeeding me anyway with Rhyperior. So we're about to find out how fast Rhyperior is here. Either way, though, we'll get one big attack off at least. And yeah, Sylveon still moves first, gets the Hyper Voice off, almost just KOs Persian. It's definitely in quick attack KO range, and Crunch comes out, so kind of surprised to see Icy Wind there, but I'll take it as Max Knuckle comes out. But now what we can do is just bring in the Diggersby, go for quick attack onto the Persian, Dynamax Diggersby, and go for Max Quake onto Rhyperior. I'm pretty sure that should KO from the range that it's at. So we're in a pretty good spot right now. We got fortunate, let the Persian went for Parting Shot onto the Sylveon as opposed to the Tyranitar, which is why I maybe should have maxed Tyranitar, but I really wanted to try to Dynamax Diggersby in this game. But yeah, now I can just bring this out. This should one-shot the Rhyperior. We also have Hyper Voice support. Gastrodon comes out, which doesn't really scare me at all. So I guess the one thing that could be problematic is if it were to burn me. Yeah, that'd actually be pretty scary. For that reason, it might be better to actually Hyper Voice, Dynamax Diggersby, and go for Quake onto the Gastrodon. Because we have Rotom in the back, and that obviously beats Rhyperior once Dynamax ends. So I'd rather just KO the Gastrodon as quickly as possible. This does make me happy, though, because, like, you know, Rotom seems like a very obvious answer to beat Rhyperior, but because of the threat of Gastrodon, had I actually brought it out here, I'd actually be in a pretty tricky spot because I wouldn't be able to touch the Rhyperior at all. Right now, we know I'm Icy Winded, but I know I'm faster with Sylveon anyway. And I think Max Quake Hyper Voice just KOs the Sylveon. This is Life Orb, Huge Power Diggersby, as well as Pixie Plate Sylveon, so I'm hoping that double up does get the KO. If it does, then that should just be game, and Rhyperior Max Guards. Perfect, yeah. So in this position, because I know I have Rotom in the back, it's just best to target the Gastrodon. This honestly might just get a one-hit KO. Let's see. Max Quake comes out. Oh, so close. But with all that damage, that Gastrodon should be in Hyper Voice KO range. I'm pretty sure Sylveon outspeeds it here anyway, unless it has speed investment for some reason. Oh, it actually is faster. Okay. So it might not be min speed. Either way, though, it doesn't have a berry. Hyper Voice just gets the KO, and Diggersby now is able to close out the game. So yeah, from this game, like, I didn't want to lead Diggersby because, one, it doesn't threaten the Dusclops with too much damage, but yeah, having Quick Attack and just Crunch KO Dusclops is really, really huge. But I probably could have gotten away with Dynamaxing Tyranitar turn 1, and to be honest, I think that's probably the safer play, but like I said, I wanted to see if I could Dynamax Diggersby, and I figured if we did get the Quick Attack Crunch combination off, we would just win turn 1, because my opponent's team is, you know, pretty hard Trick Room. I think the Persian is a really interesting option, as Rhyperior actually hangs on from the Max Quake, but since, yeah, we were able to get that chip damage from Crunch, I knew it was going to be in KO range from a Hyper Voice anyway. So Weakness Policy is activated, but at this point we've already chipped away enough at Rhyperior where it doesn't end up really mattering. So yeah, in this game we were kind of just setting ourselves up for the Diggersby in the late game, and fortunately we were able to accomplish that. But as you'll see, Diggersby is a Pokemon like against Trick Room. I think this is like the only time where we can really allow it to thrive and bring it in, because if we just lead with it, we Dynamax, we're often not doing enough damage to really justify it, and if Trick Room goes up, we kind of just get swept. So one of the cool scenarios where, yeah, Tyranitar didn't even end up needing to Dynamax, and we were able to conserve the Dynamax for Diggersby in the late game. I think, yeah, it's probably still a little bit safer to Dynamax Tyranitar on turn 1, because I'm pretty sure Max Darkness, even with the Parting Shot going into Tyranitar, will still KO the Dusclops, so probably should have gone for that, but I got what I wanted, which was to Dynamax Diggersby in our first game today, so I'm pretty happy about that, but let's try to bring it a little bit more. We're going up against the Sun team for the next game today. There is another Gastrodon, which is pretty scary. In general, I think Sun is definitely kind of a tricky matchup here. We could honestly bring Diggersby, but the thing is it obviously gets wrecked by like Heat Waves, and there's no way to really play around that. I think I'm probably still going to bring it, but Tyranitar might still be the best Pokemon to Dynamax in this matchup, mainly for weather control. Because the combination of Tyranitar and Togekiss look really good to me here on paper, I think. Yeah. AB Duraludon has Snarl, which is interesting, but it still gets outsped by things, so I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of it. I'm thinking of just leading Togekiss and Tyranitar here. With this lead, Togekiss protects Tyranitar from Conkeldurr. We can Dynamax and get Weather Control into our favor. That seems alright to me. Can I afford to bring Diggersby in this one? It's kind of tough to be honest. I guess depending on what my opponent leads with, there is an argument to Dynamax it in the late game. I'm not bringing Duraludon, it's just that I think Sylveon and Rotom would be pretty easy brings here, but we could go Diggersby and Rotom. This does make me a little weak to the Gastrodon though. So, I have to play with that in mind. The main reason to bring Sylveon is basically to have a better matchup against Gastrodon, Conkeldurr, and the Sableye. But, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be forcing Diggersby, but I just really want to try to feature it as much as possible. And I think you can definitely make an argument for it. In fact, maybe Sylveon over Rotom would have been the better call, just to patch up the Gastrodon matchup a little bit more. We Charizard Whimsicott, though. So we have Weather Control turn 1, but obviously you can go for a Sunny Day. That being said, I mean, this definitely isn't a bad spot. We don't necessarily even need a Dynamax T-Tar. Like, what we could do is just go for... Like, there's no way you target Tyranitar here. You probably go for, I don't know, something like Sunny Day, Max Flare, or G-Max into the Togekiss. So, I mean, what I could do is just go for Helping Hand, Rock Slide. The safe play is to just follow me, Dynamax, and Max Rockfall Charizard, I think. But I want a Dynamax Diggersby super badly. I mean, there's no way you Dynamax Charizard here, right? You probably Sunny Day Heat Wave. Got Rotom in the back. I honestly want to conserve Togekiss if I can. So I'm actually going to switch out and Rock Slide because Togekiss allows me for redirection support. And I feel like the Charizard here shouldn't max, right? If I were my opponent, I'd probably go for Sunny Day. My opponent could make a hard... It does max. Oh, it could be Charty-Berry, but I mean, that's still risky because the max Rockfall just KOs Charizard. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have just played it safe, gone for the Follow Me max Rockfall, but... I mean, Rock Slide might still just KO Charizard. If it's not Charty-Berry, I think it might KO. It probably survives. We're about to find out. Let's see if it is Sunny Day or Fake Tears, G-Max Wildfire. Yep, there's Sunny Day. I mean, you could go for a super hard read in Max Overgrowth here, but that just is so risky. Yeah, it's G-Max Wildfire. Okay, it's fine by me. Actually, one-shots Rotom. Oh my god. Okay. That's fine, honestly. Okay, Rock Slide connects, it's Life Orb. Yeah, that just KOs Charizard. Nice. So, my opponent's playing without Dynamax for the remainder of the game, which is good. So that's a good start. Like, there's just no way you can go for Sunny Day Max Overgrowth into Tyranitar. That's just so insanely risky. So I figured that was actually a relatively safe play for us to make. So no more Dynamax now. We have Yawn on this Togekiss as well as Helping Hand. So I might Dynamax Tyranitar, honestly, but we'll see. I'm glad I didn't Dynamax turn 1, though, honestly, because I ended up even getting more than I should have, in the sense that if I Dynamax, I only KO the Charizard, but by Rock Sliding, I also dish out damage to the Whimsicott. Okay, so Conkeldurr and Whimsicott. You probably have Thunder Punch, right? Like, I doubt you go for a fighting type attack. So honestly, here I kind of want to just Dazzling Gleam and Rock Slide. And what this allows me to do is you can't knock out both Pokemon here. Whimsicott like doesn't really do anything right now. If you knock out the Tyranitar, whatever, I get a Dazzling Gleam off, then I get Diggersby in for free, and I still have Dynamax to play with in this game. So I'm actually not going to Dynamax, nor am I going to Follow Me. Whimsicott Tailwinds, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only option you can go for. He's going to opt for the Drain Punch. Okay, yep. So like I said, I could have followed Mead there, but I don't really care, honestly, because Tyranitar going down means I get a free switch in into my Diggersby, and now I can just play with that. Dazzling here does so much good damage to both, actually, as well. So that's good. And it's Flame Orb Conkeldurr, yeah. So, with Diggersby, I think we should be able to sweep through with this, in this late game. Question is whether I should Follow Me here. Yeah, I mean, Follow Me Earthquake is pretty safe, right? It really comes down to what my opponent's last Pokemon is, I guess. Because I could Airstream. I feel like you probably have Thunder Punch on the Conkeldurr. Yeah, so if I'm my opponent, I probably Moonblast, Thunder Punch, try to KO the Togekiss. Follow Me EQ just picks up a double KO. But I might want to Max Quake for a Spadef boost, because all my opponent's Pokemon in the back are special. Yeah, I'm gonna Follow Me and Max Quake. I guess the problem with this is if my opponent has, like, Ninetales in the back, then you can Fake Tears my Diggersby. So, actually, I think just Follow Me EQ is better here. Because I get a double knockout, and then I get 3 turns of Diggersby in Dynamax against whatever my opponent has in the back. So I think I actually misplayed that by not going for, unless my opponent doesn't have Fake Tears. Whimsicott protects. Okay. I assume Togekiss faints here, but, I mean, Conkeldurr might have also opted for a fighting type attack. I doubt it, though. Oh, we're actually faster with Diggersby, even with Tailwind. Okay, that probably wins us the game, then. Because that gives us a Spadef boost on both, which is actually a really, really big deal. So, we've seen Protect, Sunny Day, and Tailwind from Whimsicott. So, it's either going to be Moonblast or Fake Tears, normally. You could run Taunt, Energy Ball as well, but I don't think you'd have a Grass type attack on this. You don't really need Energy Ball since you have Gastrodon for opposing Gastrodons, and you have Charizard and Ninetales, which both have Grass type attacks. Okay, so let's see what the last one is. I'm expecting Ninetales, but it's actually Gastrodon, which I actually think is even better for us, because this is not going to do any damage to Diggersby. We've got the Spadef boost on both, and there's 2 turns of Tailwind. I guess I don't even need to Dazzling Gleam here. The one thing I have to worry about is getting burnt, right? You shouldn't KO Togekiss now with the special defense boost, so I think just going for Follow Me to protect Diggersby and going for a Max Quake to knock out Whimsicott is the safest play. That gets us to +2 special defense, and Sun is going to be up. Also ignores any Follow Me's, or sorry, any Fake Tears from Whimsicott. I don't think Moonblast and Scald or even Moonblast Ice Beam even KOs this Togekiss, and it's actually Energy Ball as the last attack. Yeah. That Protect last turn kind of caught me off guard, but given that my opponent had Gastrodon in the back, I actually think we had this in the bag pretty much. So Diggersby comes out, it's going to knock out the Whimsicott, and now we're at +2 special defense in the Sun with 1 more turn of Dynamax. So, both games that actually just happened to work out, that not Dynamaxing Tyranitar has actually really paid off. In this game especially, because Diggersby was honestly a better late game option, because Dynamax Tyranitar doesn't exactly beat Conkeldurr, and it forces Togekiss to basically go for Follow Me. Gastrodon does have Ice Beam though, so this gives my opponent a shot. But yeah, it does no damage after those Max Quake boosts. Very nice. So now we can just go for a Helping Hand Max Quake, and Diggersby will take its 3rd victim of the day. Or of the game, I should say. Yeah. So this is, once again, it goes to show how if you conserve your Dynamax, it can give you a huge advantage in this game. And ultimately, the Tailwind from my opponent's end didn't really help them out, because they had pretty slow Pokemon in Conkeldurr and Gastrodon anyway. So that is why if you're using those Pokemon, as Gastrodon actually helps to protect, that's fine. So we're at +3 special defense with both now. We can just go for Follow Me, Swords Dance this next turn, and then EQ to close out the game. There's pretty much no way for Gastrodon to win in this situation. Max Quake ends up doing like 40% through Protect, which kind of shows the power of Diggersby. But yeah, if you can maintain the Dynamax advantage, as we're doing with Diggersby, and put it in positions where it can just sweep through, then it's really, really big. So I think if you're playing with this team, you might want to opt to maybe Swords Dance and lead with it. But if you're leading with it and not getting a big like KO, it's often, I think, not worth it, because that will give your opponent a momentum. So I'm just going to Follow Me, Swords Dance, and that will allow us to win the game the following turn with Earthquake. Pretty much nothing Gastrodon can do in this position. The Follow Me just protects us from getting burnt by Scald, frozen by Ice Beam, with the special defense boost. We're not in much threat anyway, but the one way I could throw this game is if I didn't Follow Me, and Gastrodon just crit the Diggersby to KO it, because then if Gastrodon has recovered, it actually wins the 1v1 against the Togekiss. So Follow Me is, you know, relatively obvious play here, but just to explain guaranteed win cons here, as we will go for a Swords Dance here. So now +2 attack, +3 special defense with Life Orb and huge power. As Gastrodon actually helps to recover, which is fine. I think +2 EQ might just KO anyway, but that's also a reason to Swords Dance. I want to say Helping Hand EQ KOs, but it's actually safer to go for Follow Me, just because of the fact. Oh, I guess we have high horsepower, not Earthquake, so we could miss. But I'm pretty sure high horsepower now, because we don't have the reduction in accuracy, or sorry, in damage, should KO at +2 attack. But I'm going to go for Follow Me in case I miss, and in case this actually survives. But yeah, Diggersby picks up a 3rd knockout in this game. Very, very nice. And yeah, I actually really needed it for the Gastron. So not bringing Rotom actually ended up paying off for us, because I thought Rotom was a pretty big threat, or sorry, would be pretty good on paper because, you know, if it's in sand or rain, it matches up pretty well against the Charizard and the Ninetales. But yeah, so pretty standard Life Orb, Charizard, Rindo, Gastro with Recover, Ice Beam, no Scald actually. We saw the Whimsicott moveset. It's the Specs Ninetales, which is pretty common nowadays. Rock Slide instead of Thunder Punch. So yeah, the main thing here is that the Conkeldurr and Gastrodon, even under Tailwind, weren't able to outspeed us. So my opponent setting up Tailwind didn't really actually hurt us very much. Once again, we were able to conserve our Dynamax for the late game and just sweep through with the Bunny. So pretty happy about the game so far today. I think Sableye is always a Pokemon I really don't like going up against, but if my opponent brought Sableye in that game, like Tyranitar and... what am I saying? I did bring Rotom in the last game, not Sylveon. I just forgot about Rotom because it got one-shot immediately. So, yeah. I think Rotom or Sylveon basically were fodder in that matchup, though. I think like Tyranitar, Diggersby, and Togekiss are just so important. That's so funny, though. I literally had forgotten I brought Rotom because of the fact it just got one-shot on turn 1. But that is the power of solar-powered G-Max Charizard with Life Orb. Like, the fact it can one-shot something that resists its attacks is nuts, but it's so powerful. We're going up against a Togetic for the 3rd game today, which is cool, but very hyper-offensive team where T-Tar, Exca, Mimikyu, Milo, and the Darmanitan. Darmanitan actually scares me a lot, but this actually could be a game where we could lead Diggersby because we could max Airstream. I don't know how I feel about that, though. Let's see. Duraludon could be alright. Like, we could max this and go for Steel Spikes. Yeah, I mean, it does actually pretty good damage across the board. We don't have Intimidate, and I think this Darmanitan is really scary. But one thing I could do is lead, for example, Togekiss Duraludon. The question is, how do I beat the Excadrill? I think we need Rotom in this matchup for it. So I'm thinking Togekiss, Duraludon, Rotom, and probably Diggersby in the back, because it actually still does a lot of damage with Earthquake, and we could potentially Dynamax. I mean, we could lead Diggersby and just go for max Airstreams, but I'm not sure I'll be outspeeding anyway, because Darmanitan's probably going to be Scarfed, and if my opponent goes T-Tar Excadrill, well, then Excadrill still outspeeds us. But I'm going to bring the Diggersby because it actually hits for a lot of good damage here. With Thunder Punch, we do a lot to Milo. EQ, obviously, or High Horsepower hits T-Tar Exca for a lot of good damage here. So, yeah. This one is a little tricky, I think, mainly because we don't have natural speed control. So the only real way of speed control is go by Dynamaxing Diggersby and going for max Airstreams. But I think with Duraludon Togekiss, we can maybe afford to play like a slightly bulkier oriented game, especially with the Babiri Berry on the Togekiss. So we had Togekiss and Darmanitan. Okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense. So Duraludon's in a pretty good spot right now. I mean, we could just go for a Helping Hand Max Steel Spike turn 1. I kind of want to switch Togekiss out into Rotom, though. I think you always go for an Ice Skull Crash here and a Follow Me. So it's pretty easy to play, like, switch into Rotom, go for a Max Steel Spike. My opponent could read this, I don't know, and go for like a Helping Hand Superpower, I guess, but that seems kind of crazy. So I'm going to switch out into Rotom. And just go for a Dynamax and try to Steel Spike the Darm. Yep. I think Togekiss probably goes for Follow Me, or Togetic probably goes for Follow Me. I mean, if it doesn't, we should just knock out the Darmanitan. You could here go for, I don't know, Superpower Dazzling Gleam, but with Dynamax and Assault Vest, I think we should survive any attack with the Duraludon. Getting even a single Steel Spike is a really big deal in this matchup, and if it is Choice Darmanitan and my opponent locks themselves into Ice Skull Crash or any Ice type attack, then we're in a really good spot, especially because we'll get a defense boost with both of these. So I am going to Dynamax first, but I think I have to, given this lead. If I don't Dynamax Duraludon, I am in the threat of potentially getting KO'd by a Superpower. And I think we can get away with not Dynamaxing Diggersby in this game. As much as I'd like to, it is a little bit tough for it to Dynamax. So Togetic, obviously similar to Togekiss, provides utility with Follow Me. Yep, there's the Follow Me. That's fine by me. I don't think Steel Spike KOs, but it's not the end of the world. Let's see what the Darm for. Oh, he's actually going to Earthquake. I wonder if that's a 2-hit KO onto us. It might be. But after the defense... Oh, wait, that did nothing. Wow, that was actually very underwhelming damage. And because of Stalwart, yeah, Follow Me doesn't even end up working for my opponent. So, yeah, that was a super safe play for me to make. I think there's pretty much no reason to go for that. Even at Helping Hand Superpower, I'm pretty sure it doesn't KO on Duraludon. So, it's pretty much why I led what I did. Just to give myself options. Now, the downside is I will be playing with one less turn of Dynamax relative to my opponent. And Excadrill is probably going to be the Pokemon's going to want to max. But I don't think it really poses that much of a threat right now, especially because we got the defense boost. So what I could do is go for, I don't know, like Nasty Plot and Steel Spike into Togetic. That's relatively safe, I think. You could target Rotom here, though, I guess with like a Max Rockfall, so perhaps it's better just to go for damage. Defense boosts are nice right now on our end. Yeah, I kind of like Nasty Plotting and Steel Spiking, because Excadrill here might be inclined to target down the Rotom, or sorry, the Duraludon, thinking, oh, I want to get rid of your Dynamax Pokemon ASAP. Duraludon might go down here if you're Life Orbed or Helping Hand, and both of those are pretty likely options, I think, so there's a decent chance we just lose Duraludon here, but if I get this Nasty Plot off, I think regular Rotom can win this game for me, especially because we do have a Babiri Togekiss in the back. But Togetic's actually just going to opt for Follow Me, which is fine by me. Yeah. So basically negating its move this turn. It's going to go for Max Quake. Excadrill's going to go for Max Quake. Let's see if that's enough to KO with the defense boost. This Duraludon is so bulky. That is the very nice thing about playing with bulkier Duraludon. After using Life Orb for quite a while, now we're using AV, and it's just super nice to be able to survive these attacks. So, yeah, the main thing we've been able to do this game is basically completely negate Togetic. Like, it's actually been useless for my opponent because it's, you know, hasn't protected its partners, and if anything, I'm, like, able to set up in front of it. So, yeah. Now, after the Max Quake, yeah, Togetic takes that Steel Spike pretty well, but now we're at +2 defense, so I don't know how this Excadrill really KOs Rotom. Because what we can do this next turn is just go for... We can go for another Nasty Plot. And that honestly might be worth it, because I'm just stalling out the Dynamax on my opponent's end. I don't know how my opponent beats Rotom after all these boosts. I guess you could go for a crit onto Rotom now. That's your only chance, I think. But I'm just going to Steel Spike, and this Joy-Con Drift is killing me. Steel Spike into Togetic, and just go for a second Nasty Plot. Yeah, Togetic is going to keep following me, but that's why I'm not Hydro Pumping. Like, why bother Hydro Pumping when the damage isn't probably going to KO the Excadrill anyway? We could have switched Duraludon out here into Togekiss, but yeah, I didn't think that was really worth it because I don't think Duraludon's that important to us at this point in the match, and I'd rather now what I'm able to do right is I have Babiri on the Togekiss, and I'm at +4 special attack now with the Rotom. So, because Rotom is faster than the Togekiss, I can just go for a Thunderbolt onto the Togetic, yawn the Excadrill, and then Dynamax ends on my opponent's end, and then Rotom and Diggersby actually should just close out this game for me, because the combination of those should just beat everything my opponent has in the back. I could have brought out Diggersby outright here, but I think because we're Babiri-Kiss, it's very safe to just bring out the Togekiss. So I'm just going to Thunderbolt. I think my opponent's only way of winning here is going for a Max Rockfall crit onto Rotom. So I could go for a Follow Me, but I think Yawn is also fine. I mean, even if you crit the Rotom, I think Togekiss and Diggersby actually win this game, because what I can do then, if you actually have Rockfall and you crit us, as, yeah, Togetic keeps going for Follow Me. So we've rendered Togetic completely useless in this game, which is quite nice. Yeah, it's going to be Steel Spike. Yeah, I figure even if you... I honestly, without Life Orb, I don't even think Max Rockfall, even if it crits, KOs Rotom. Even if you KO there, I guess Yawn does get redirected into Togetic. So actually, yeah, I guess a crit Rockfall, I don't think KOs us, but if you had like Helping Hand, what you could have gone for is like Helping Hand, Max Rockfall, hope to crit the Rotom. But yeah, I think this should seal the game for us. Thunderbolt here will knock out Togetic. We're at +4 special attack still. Excadrill is +2 special defense, but it's going to fall asleep after this turn. This next turn we can just go for Follow Me. And the one thing I actually worried about is the Mimikyu in the back. If it is a... it could be like Life Orb Woodhammer, for example. I think that's the only thing that beats us at this point, potentially. But it's going to be Tyranitar, which I think should effectively seal us the game. Because now what we can do this next turn is just go for... I think it's actually safest to protect the Rotom. just so we don't get flinched. Tyranitar could like go for something like Dragon Dance though, I guess, which I wouldn't want to deal with. Yeah, I think it's fine to just Hydro Pump and Helping Hand. I mean, that just one-shots Tyranitar through Sand. It's just a little scary because we could miss, but Excadrill falls asleep after this turn, and then we get the free switch into Diggersby, which is actually the perfect Pokemon for this endgame. And we're at plus, what, 2 defense right now with Rotom, so we're not taking much damage. It's just going to be a Rock Slide from Excadrill, so yeah, I'm going for a flinch, which makes sense. Does manage to pick up the knockout on a Togekiss, so if you flinch me here and then crit me with Tyranitar, you could win. Potentially. But Rotom, fortunately, has his glasses on today, does not flinch, gets the +4 Helping Hand boosted Hydro Pump off against Tyranitar. That's going to be a one-hit KO. The Excadrill falls asleep, and we have Diggersby to close things up. So I think it might have been better to protect the Rotom. I was just worried about... Like, one thing you could do is actually, I don't know, activate your own weakness policy and Dragon Dance. But I guess Follow Me covers the option of you activating your own weakness. But you'd also do so much damage if you were to self-target yourself with Iron Head or EQ. So, yeah. Didn't get to use Diggersby as much as I would have liked to in this game, but I think I couldn't really afford to lead with it. Mainly because of how weak it is against Darmanitan. Yeah, like, it just can't touch Darmanitan, basically. I mean, it can touch it, but not with support from Togetic. So, High Horsepower here is going to connect. Beautiful. And that should bring down to its slow Focus Sash. Yep. And that's one of the things, right? When you're not running Life Orb on Excadrill, like, you just do so much less damage, and so our Duraludon was really able to tank in some attacks. Rotom's going to miss the Hydro Pump here, but that's fine. Although, I guess, technically, this is still scary because we don't have a way to hit the Excadrill for 100% accuracy. Because Thunderbolt obviously won't affect it, Bounce has 85%, and Thunder Punch doesn't affect. So, we have to rely on hitting High Horsepower and Hydro Pump. So, my opponent could win if you wake up and flinch us and crit us to Oblivion, but unfortunately, it does not happen. Second High Horsepower does connect, and we're able to KO the Excadrill. So, very nice. Yeah, I think... with a Pokemon like Diggersby, it's very tempting to try to Dynamax it every game, but, like, in this game, I think if I led Diggersby and, like, Togekiss, for example, I would have been in a really tough spot because, sure, I Dynamax Diggersby turn 1, but then what do I really get off there? Max Airstream doesn't really help me out because Darmanitan should still outspeed me even after if it's Choice Scarf, and I get destroyed by an Ice Cold Crash. So, this was a scenario where I just thought Duraludon would have worked out a lot better, and the combination of Togekiss and Duraludon covered for if my opponent led, for example, with Tyranitar Excadrill, we can just go for Sleeps immediately with Yawn because we're Babiri Berry. If we get a Yawn off against a Dynamax Excadrill turn 1, that's a pretty big advantage to us. And then Rotom and Diggersby were actually very good Pokemon to have outside of Dynamax form because they can boost themselves up with Nasty Claw and Swords Dance, respectively. So, yeah, that's going to be it for our first day with this Diggersby team. Thanks again to Alex for providing it. Feel free to try it out yourselves, guys. The link is in the description below, or the code is in the description below. So it is a rental team. Feel free to give it a try yourselves. I forgot to mention the question of the day. The International Challenge just took place this last weekend, so I'm curious if you guys played in it, and if so, how did you end up doing? I ended up playing in it just for fun. Finished in like the 1700s, which is like a respectable rating, I guess, but not as high as I would have liked to. So maybe in the next tournament I'll aim for higher. But yeah, fun episode for you guys today. The bunny came out and did a lot of work, so glad to feature it. And thank you guys for watching as always. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.